Steam Summer Sale podcast.
Or
hey, everybody.
This episode's off to a great start. Welcome, everybody, to the 14th episode of the TechnoBuffalo Show, not the Steam Summer Sale podcast, as Joey Davidson just insinuated. I'm Sean Audi. I'm the editor-in-chief of TechnoBuffalo. I'm joined today by you've already met him, the executive editor of gaming, Joey Davidson.
What's up, guys?
And the executive editor of mobile, Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, one thing I'm glad about the fact we now do this show on video. I don't feel so crazy when I gestate towards you guys.
Right. Right.
Because I did that on
Nobody
Tech on
can
the
see
Range, but nobody could see it but me.
Welcome to the show. I'm all alone. Look at all these people that aren't around me.
Let me gestate towards the audience that can't be seen. Hi, everyone.
Oh, God.
If we all sound a little slap happy, it's because it's June, and we have never seen a June quite like this.
No, man, it's been pretty crazy.
From starting with WWDC earlier in the month, then we had the Samsung event, then we had E3, then yesterday we had the Amazon Fire Phone and T-Mobile, and next week we have Google I/O, which, by the way, that does take place on Wednesday, so next week we will be on Thursdays again.
Yep.
So
and we'll have two people at I/O reporting live.
Nice.
So I'm not even sure where to start. There is so much news right now. Joey, let's jump to you. You've got the oldest news, and I want to get to it. You know, E3 2015 is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Though I was joking to Eric and I, because Eric went with me this year. So, which was great, actually. It's the first year that we sent two writers to the site, which was awesome. But Eric went with me, and we were joking about how E3 2014 was just the preview for 2015. Like, it's just, there's so many amazing games, but they're all coming out next year. There's going to be some great games this year. I have to be completely honest. This is my 6th or 7th E3, and it was probably one of the more underwhelming years. I think part of that was just because of the console transition. You've got developers still learning how to make the games, so we're easily a year out from really the good stuff on these new machines. So it was kind of a little lackluster in that sense, but it was still a great show, and walked away with some stuff that I'm really excited about. You guys jazzed for No Man's Sky?
I'm very jazzed for No Man's Sky. Of course, if it plays well, but it looks beautiful.
It does. I'm a little
Sweet.
concerned. Yeah, I'm a little concerned that it's just going to be walking in Discovery. But if they hit that No Man's Land sci-fi angle right, it could be really good.
Yeah. No, I mean, I loved it when he said, we took inspiration from sci-fi novel covers of the 60s and 70s, and being born in 71, that's what I remember seeing in the bookstores.
Yeah.
So I'm that really spoke to me, and just the artistic colors and all that. And let's talk colors for a second.
Yeah.
A Sunset Overdrive. Do you think we're thrilled with it because of it being a game from Insomniac, because it looks great, or because of the color palette?
As an outsider, I told Joey, I was like, that game looks so awesome because of the colors.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what they're banking on, Todd. They're kind of, I mean, Insomniac's a great developer already. Let's ignore Fuse. Fuse was a game that came out last year, and it was literally a tale of mediocrity. They designed that sucker by committee. They threw out all the cartoony designs and just which they had, appeared with a cartoony design. It looked like Ocean's 11 meets the heist from Grand Theft Auto meets Ratchet and Clank. It was ridiculous. But then they threw all of that out the window and they said, let's just make a bland game. That was the Insomniac that was working with EA. This is the Insomniac that's working with Microsoft, and I think that Microsoft just kind of looked at them and they just said, you know what, do whatever you want to do, and the result is Sunset Overdrive. It seems to me that next-gen games, at least the thing that I'm most excited about currently, is that the brown and gray is kind of falling away. You know what I mean? Like it's starting to go by the wayside, and we're starting to see more ambitious games with more vibrant colors. And it's not just the wacky stuff like Sunset Overdrive. Far Cry 4 looks colorful. It looks gorgeous. It could very well have been brown and gray, but they didn't go that route. They're going crazy colorful, and I'm excited about that. I think it's a new age. And No Man's Sky falls under that genre too. You know, like it looks super colorful, which is exciting.
Now, I think one of the biggest questions I had was with Grand Theft Auto 5 now coming to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
It looks beautiful. It looks like there's a lot more to it. Mm-hmm. Did you hear anything? I know you can transfer over your online stuff. Can you transfer over your saved game from the previous generation?
I doubt it.
I'm not playing that game all the way through.
Play it again. Have fun.
I'm going to play it again.
Yeah, me too, man. Well, I'm playing Red Dead again
When's
right
it coming out, though? Do we know?
This fall.
Did they say? This fall? All right. That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
What a way to double dip, but you can't blame them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about these consoles being running with a PC-like architecture is that any game that releases on PC now has no business not releasing on. I don't even care if that made sense. It must be released on the new consoles. It has to, just because it's and especially for Rockstar, putting it out on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Most of the coding heavy work was done when they ported it over to the PC. So why not just throw it on the new machines as well? You know.
So of course, we're watching that live presentation of the GTA 5 footage. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, man. Think what Red Dead Redemption would look like now.
Dude, they are such teases, man. During the PlayStation conference, I'm sitting there. I got Eric right here, and then my buddy Brad from another company is here, and I'm like they cut. You see like the Rockstar logo, and then they cut to a nature scene. Like the first thing that they showed was an outdoor thing, and I'm just like, it's Red Dead, and then it cuts to a scene, and I'm like, oh god, it's not Red Dead.
Oh, what a letdown!
I know, man. I was
so. As soon as I heard the music, I thought GTA 5 DLC.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, once it made sense. Makes complete sense.
I just picture you sitting there and you grab Brad and Eric's hands and just like,
it's happening. Well, that and I don't think I told you this, buddy. This was kind of funny. You know who Tim Schafer is, right?
Uh-huh.
So he's the head of Double Fine. Sorry, that name escaped me for a second. And Grim Fandango got that announcement, that like HD remake announcement. Tim Schafer was sitting right in front of us, like literally directly in front of us. And he was it was really funny watching him react to like the crowd's applause and all that. But before the show started, he had, those like USB chargers, like it's like a USB battery pack that you would plug your phone into to get like a hot charge off of.
Yeah.
He had that, and he was like trying to wave down a friend, and instead of just holding his phone up, he had to hold this up and the ridiculous charger. So he's standing up, like, waving this around, and he turns to us. He, like, looks right at Brad and I. He's like, don't you laugh at me. This isn't funny. Oh, man, it was hilarious. Anyway, yeah, E3 was good.
Well, we've got a question from Sachin Bahal. What games are you most looking forward to that is coming in 2014, and then which one for 2015? Well, I think, actually, the question is just for 2015.
Well, 2014, Sunset Overdrive is one of them. Smash is coming out this year. That's going to be pretty awesome. What else? It's tough, man, because once every game I think of, I'm like, nope, 2015. Nope, 2015.
Yep.
I'd say probably Sunset Overdrive is right up there at the top. What's Sony dishing out this year? I don't even know.
Can we all agree that 2015 may be the year that geeks die?
Yeah. Between
new Star Wars, games out the wazoo, Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah. We're all going to be feeling super nerdy in our cardboard boxes out on the streets.
Yes, as we're all broke.
2015 though, it's the game that surprised me most, and you guys might not agree, but it was Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, just because that demo was amazing, and we actually posted it. Like Konami got Hideo Kojima to do a live stream of it this morning, like literally this morning. So the demo that we saw at E3 is actually on the site right now. So if you go to TechnoBuffalo, it's there. You can watch it. It's a 30-minute demo. It's amazing. The Witcher 3 looks amazing. Batman looks amazing. No Man's Sky. These are all 2015 games. And then Nintendo's really the Zelda looks. Good God, Zelda. That was gameplay.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
That was not like a pre-rendered trailer. That was not in-engine cutscene. That was gameplay.
Yeah,
so
that's you want to just like get the game just to walk around.
Yeah, man, it's pretty crazy. But
The
2015
looks
would be
awesome.
wild.
Well, we're going to move on, and we are going to come back to this in the Q&A session. We have so much to discuss today that we're going to go a little quickly through the subjects, and then we'll get to everybody's questions and really open it up. So yesterday we had the... I'm not going to editorialize this, as I said. We had the Amazon.
You can do this.
Fire phone?
Amazon Fire Phone.
You did it. You got it.
Announcement. Todd, walk us through it.
Oh, shoot, was I just yawning, or was that a Freudian yawn? I'm just kidding.
It's a Freudian yawn, I think.
Look, all right. So Amazon came out, announced the Fire Phone. I think there's a lot of really cool features. Firefly will let you point the phone at up to like 100 million objects, I think, and it'll identify it. So if you point at a book, it'll identify it. You can buy it. The only thing that's different, people were super excited about that, except it already exists in the Amazon app for iOS and Android. It's called Flow. So they built on that a little bit.
Flow, bro.
Yeah. Then they have the dynamic perspective display, which is like the 3D kind of. It's not really 3D. It's like you can look deeper into your phone because of these 4 cameras that are up front, kind of like tracking your head. I kind of want to see what developers do with that. Right now, it looked neat for like the lock screen, and I guess for maps. Which, by the way, it uses Here Maps, not Google Maps, and that's sort of a key distinguisher because while it's running on Android, they don't license Google Play services, so you don't get Gmail and all that stuff. And that also means no Google Maps. So Nokia Here Maps power that in the phone. And remember, Nokia Here is still part of the Nokia in Finland, not part of Microsoft. So we'll see how that works. I've found in the past that I'm not as big a fan of Here Maps. And so in general, the services on the Amazon phone aren't attractive to me. But it really came down to the pricing. I think AT&T is a good carrier partner, but I think having Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint as partners as well would have been a lot more attractive to all consumers, and the pricing is a little wrong at $199 with a contract. I think Amazon would have done better with an unlocked model at $349, sort of what we saw with the Moto X. I would have bought one. I would have pre-ordered it yesterday, but instead I have to worry about a contract. I know the phone is worth whatever, $650 or $750 according to, if you want to buy it unlocked or whatever, but I think Amazon probably should have looked at a business model similar to what they did with the Kindle Fire in the case where they broke even or are losing money on that and then making money on the services once you use the phone. I think they would have gotten the phone in more hands. But I'm sure they looked at the charts and tried to figure this out. I don't know. To me, I see the question about whether this is going to follow in the footsteps of the, HTC First, which was the Facebook phone, or the Cha-Cha-Cha and the Salsa, and they certainly run that risk. Because of the contract requirement and stuff like that.
I think the $199 price point was a complete bungle. I really think that, and this is totally anecdotal, but for what it's worth, I talked to my mom this morning, and she's like, "Oh, I saw Amazon put out a phone yesterday. I saw that on the news." And like my parents, they own a bunch of really random stuff, but my dad is a Kindle user. And so my mom considered that. She was like, "Oh, would this be good for Dad?" And then I told her like, "Oh, it's $200." And she was like, "Why is it $200?" And it was like instantly you have this person who does not recognize the price points in tech and it has an intimate understanding of things. And she literally says he can get an iPhone or a top of the line Android phone for that price. Why would he get this Amazon phone? And I'm like,
and that's what.
Perfect.
That's what's crazy because it does have pretty good hardware. It's a Snapdragon 800, I think, and you know the 13-megapixel camera with OIS. But this is not a phone for enthusiasts, and I think when people are going out there to buy a phone, you know, you think Galaxy S5, HTC One M8, iPhone 5S. You're not thinking Amazon phone, even though the hardware is there. It's just you don't see it as that kind of company, really. You see it as like a content delivery system, and they do a really, really good job at that. But nobody's looking at them as like, oh, that's the best phone I want to buy. They do have this Mayday feature, which I think for people who haven't owned smartphones in the past could be really, really attractive. If they
I see Amazon, and I don't mean this as an insult because I'm an Amazon Prime member. I have been for a long time. I use it for everything. I love the company, but I see Amazon and I think money saving. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think, and that's the reason why I have the Amazon mobile app with me when I go shopping, because I like look at crap and I'm like, oh man, could I save money if by buying this online?
I do the exact same thing.
Me too.
Right, awesome. So that's our mentality with Amazon. They should release a phone that fits that mentality.
Yes,
you know what I totally agree.
And we were talking about this yesterday. They build themselves as this value company, like everything's a value, and then this phone comes out and it's not, right? Like they have the potential to have complete access to everything Amazon does in everybody's pocket, and they kind of missed that boat.
They should. Yeah. It should have been a cheap way to get me into Amazon's ecosystem and never leave.
Right. I would have bought one for $350 unlocked or something like that. So do what you have to do to get it down to that price. Follow the Motorola model.
Yeah. Well, and I was talking about this pre-show. How much is the X? How much did it sell for?
Moto X $349.
Yeah, and I love the phone. Like I've just started using it and I love it. So like there's no
you can buy it, no contract. Like it's awesome, man. You can customize it. I mean, there's a way that Amazon could have done this. Now the Moto X doesn't have a Snapdragon 800 processor.
No.
But Motorola proved that you don't need one.
I am more in line with the type of user that would not care so much about the specs, but more about content delivery. And I am the type of person who would have seen the Amazon phone at a contract at $100, if that's even possible. If they put it on contract at $100 on multiple carriers, that would have been enough for me to go, maybe I should be considering this.
Well, it'll come down to $100 on. Unfortunately, I think probably sooner than they want it to.
Yeah,
$100 on contract, but I want to see it off contract. Because that's what's keeping me away, and I don't want to spend $650 for it.
Does anyone remember back when the iPhone was first introduced? It came out at a ridiculous price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 3 months later, Jobs dropped the price. The original buyers all had a riot, and he ended up giving refunds.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's what's going to happen here. I think that there's going to have to be a price reduction. Nobody expected Amazon to come out with a phone at this price.
It just doesn't, as we've said, it doesn't make sense given the company's model for success so far. It just really doesn't. They are a company that's all about saving customers money.
It should have been strictly off contract. It should have been available to use on any carrier, and they just.
So we did get hints pretty early. I mean, that AT&T was going to be exclusive. I mean, I'm not saying unfortunately. Fine, AT&T. You know, I think it's a perfectly fine carrier. I'm not trashing AT&T. I just
unfortunate because they limit their customer base.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with
this is
carrier.
Not a right. Yeah, this is not an attack on AT&T.
No, it's that they're limiting their customer base by only having AT&T. I mean, people. It's really hard for people to switch carriers, as I think T-Mobile is finding out right now. Even when T-Mobile offers to hand you money to switch, people are having a hard time doing it.
It's a good transition.
You're welcome.
Real quick, does the Amazon phone really need all 4 of those cameras for head tracking? Yes, because they demonstrated that quite often your fingers could cover 2 of them. So yes, it needs 2 cameras to track your head. So they did 4, so you'd always have 2 unblocked.
They did 4 so that they can make it $200. Go ahead.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Wow.
T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly put on a show last night. We'll go over the news real quick.
Todd and I were discussing it as it was going on, and as Uncarrier 5.0 was wrapping up, and we did not know there was going to be an Uncarrier 6.0. We were like, they could have sent us a press release. This is a press release, announcement. It's not a event announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And then Laguerre dropped the hammer and did some really interesting things with streaming music. I gotta hand it to him. I didn't think there was really anything he could do there. And then they go, see you in a couple months for Uncarrier 7.0.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll go over the announcements. The first was Uncarrier 5.0, and that's that you can test drive an iPhone 5S for 7 days and see if you like the network.
7-night stand.
7-night stand, as they called it. But you have to put down, and they put a $700 hold on your credit card, which I don't know. I don't know how many people will have that, but sometimes some people don't. So they run the risk of that. And then if you have any damage to the phone, you have to pay $100. So there are some restraints to it, but it does sound really cool. You basically just go online, you fill it out, you say, I want to try T-Mobile, they send it to you, and then you return it to a retail store. And that's over. But if you like it, you get another phone. You don't just get to keep that one, which I found suspicious. I mean, I don't think they're like rigging the phones to be, like better. But why can't you just?
I imagine there are iPhones that have been sent back and they've been worked on.
Right. So they're just
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was cool. And then another announcement was Uncarrier 6.0, where they're not gonna no longer, if you're using Pandora, Spotify, iTunes Radio, a couple others. If you're using Slacker, if you're using these radio streaming services, they don't go towards your data usage in the month, which is cool. But as some people in the audience were saying, like, well, isn't video kind of a bigger concern? Which is true too. And then if you have unlimited plans already, because obviously people who have unlimited plans, like, then that has no effect. It doesn't matter. And I think that's who T-Mobile has been really going after, saying we have unlimited plans. So I'm not sure how much it'll affect their business model. But if you have an unlimited plan, now you get free access to Unradio, powered by Rhapsody, with 20 million songs, I think.
Unradio?
Which is neat.
Never heard of this.
Yeah. Well, they just announced it last night. There was confusion there too, because on stage they said it was available immediately, and then online it said, I think, like on Friday or something. I don't know. In any case, I thought that was interesting. And you can go online and vote, like, if you want Google Play Music to be included in that bucket,
which has got the most votes by a bunch right now.
Does it really? I'm not surprised. I mean, that's I have subscriptions to several.
Yeah, well, I was voting for Sirius XM, so that's why I was looking. But no, I mean, yeah, both announcements were interesting, but they weren't anywhere of the level the previous Uncarriers had been.
Yeah.
Is it more about being showy and getting Laguerre up there on stage to be crazy? Is that?
Yes, because you should. I mean, go look around the web and you'll see what he said. I mean, we like to consider this a family show, and I'm not going to repeat it. But I mean, he's cursing and saying, like, they don't give a crap about you, these other carriers, and all that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a clean rating on iTunes. I'd like to keep it.
Yeah.
So
they,
we will never have Laguerre on as a guest.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. And Joey, you were saying before the show, and I tend to agree with you. I would love to go back and find video of Laguerre before he became T-Mobile CEO.
Or at least before this direction anyway. Yeah,
and see if he acted this way.
He was a CEO of another company.
He was. I can't remember what company it was, but I wonder if this is if his whole personality is a marketing ploy, or if this is really this guy.
I mean, I saw him at E3. He wasn't cursing anyone out, so I don't know if that's
Global Crossing. He was the CEO of Global Crossing. He also worked at Dell as a senior vice president and president of chief operations officer for Dell in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and president of Asia Pacific for
Dell guy in the early 90s.
Yeah, I wonder.
Get into Dell!
Oh, man.
Never seen someone so excited about getting a computer. But no, it was interesting, and as somebody that does listen to a lot of streaming music, and Todd, I mean, I had the same question you did while we were, covering this last night. What about the unlimited users? And that was a pretty sweet gift for the unlimited users.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. But again, Uncarrier 1 through 4 were about shaking up the industry completely, and both of these felt more like marketing.
Yeah, I don't think like
initiatives.
Verizon, AT&T are going to be like, come try our net. I mean, maybe they will come try our network or whatever. And I don't see them doing free music services. I mean, we saw a discount from Sprint on Spotify and stuff like that. But.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the idea of the test drive. You know, as someone that on my secondary phone, I've hopped around networks. You know, and you're like, oh, I think I've made a really good decision. Then you, then you put in the SIM card. What was it they used to say on Arrested Development? I've made a really bad decision.
You made a horrible mistake.
A horrible mistake. Yes, thank you.
Horrible mistake.
I've made a horrible mistake. So, this is a good idea, but it was a press release announcement.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting. It has been a very interesting month in this industry, and I think we're all ready for naps.
Oh, man. I took a nap yesterday after work and before T-Mobile. I was just like, I can't.
Can't nap. Can't nap anymore.
And I told Sean, you know what I dreamed about? I dreamed that I was at Apple WWDC and I couldn't write. Like, I just couldn't form words.
Where are my hands?
I can't make words.
But Todd, how does that differ from any other day you're at work?
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true.
Oh, snap.
It's true.
Snap.
Oh, man.
I'm a horrible person, I admit it.
Now we know who's been commenting on all Todd's articles.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into the questions here because we've got a bunch of them. And
oh, John! Sean, your video disappeared from me.
He's still there, bud.
Oh, whatever. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I know how much you enjoy looking at me, Todd.
Oh, there you are.
Don't worry, I'll never disappear. It's this magnificent man I'm working on. From Sachin Bahal, do you think that the Fire Phone will succeed or fail because it is going to be released as an AT&T exclusive? And just look at the other AT&T exclusive phones, i.e. and we've kind of touched on this.
Yeah, but we have to. There's a huge distinguishing factor between other AT&T exclusive phones and this one, and that's Amazon's ecosystem. Like the Facebook phone, you got like some software that made it look like more of a Facebook centralized device, but then they released Facebook Home for all other devices, and it just made no sense. And the Cha-Cha and Salsa, they just had dedicated Facebook buttons, and so this is very much like Amazon in your pocket, like I'm saying, and I think it remains to be seen if it's going to be popular or not. I don't want to shoot it down and say that it's going to fail, especially if AT&T treats it like a flagship and really promotes it, and I bet Amazon does too. I just think the pricing is wrong, and that's
pricing feels off.
Pause. Yeah.
The pricing feels very, very off, and that's unfortunate. I am a huge Amazon fan. I actually started shopping with Amazon, I think it was in 98, and at that time, if you spent a certain amount in the year, they would send you a thermal coffee mug at Christmas. I have like 3 or 4 from different years of Amazon.
I mean, I was on Amazon when it was just books, and I remember when they added CDs, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been with Amazon for eons, and you will never find someone who is a bigger fan of Amazon, especially living in a small town. I mean, we have a Walmart, so
Delaware.
UPS drivers here almost every day with an Amazon box.
Right, yeah.
It's always funny to me when I go out to get my boxes from them, and I look in the truck, and I just see how many boxes have the Amazon smile on them.
Oh, yeah. In my lobby, we have delivery. They drop off the huge deliveries every day, and it's just 99% Amazon boxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like piles and piles of them. It's crazy.
Which makes this pricing so much stranger because Amazon has so much data.
Yeah.
And I guess they just didn't know how to crunch it properly, but
there's no way that Amazon. They made a decision internally, I think, and I think that this was maybe there's something to the fact that they needed a certain number of app purchases to clear the gap between like loss and profit, and they just looked at their phone and they looked at their user base and their gathered data from the Amazon App Store on the Android experience, and they just said, there's no way that we can recover from selling a $100 phone. I mean, my parents haven't spent $100 in apps on their phones, you know.
Right.
Now, and we to be fair, for at least a limited time, if you order the phone, you get a free year of Amazon Prime. So that's like knocking $100 off.
Yeah,
but still.
I imagine at this point in time, the subscriber base for Amazon Prime makes it so that giving away Amazon Prime costs them no money.
Yeah.
It probably costs them no money.
Here's a question related to music streaming services from Jamani B. Look at all the music streaming apps. Which is the best?
Oh, I feel like this differs between so many people in the style of music you like. I love Google Play Music, but Spotify just revamped their app a couple weeks ago, and it's real. I just revisited it the other day. It's really, really looking nice. So those are my two favorites.
I'm on Spotify now. I switched between Spotify and Pandora. I think Pandora has a better music discovery engine, but Spotify's been great for me ever since the app switch.
Yeah, and actually, I use Pandora all day long, but I don't pay for it. And I also just started using Songza, which was who just bought them? Somebody just bought them.
I think it was Twitter.
I know they were looking to buy somebody. Which is awesome because it's free and it has like all these different songs, all these different moods that you're in. You can play, and the music's really good. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Pandora guy, and I do pay the $36 a year for Pandora One.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't have all the ads, but yeah, it's been awesome for some of the groups I've discovered that I never knew about. I'm a huge fan of an Irish band called Flogging Molly, and I made a Flogging Molly channel and discovered all these other bands that were like Flogging Molly, and so that was awesome. But yeah,
I was at a wedding recently. Speaking of that kind of music, and the father of the groom requested the last song be "Shipping Up to Boston" by Dropkick Murphys. It was crazy. He's a Boston.
Yeah, that's a wedding song if I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on? This is awesome." Anyway, it was Google that was apparently looking to buy songs for
there you go.
Gotcha. Well, okay, we have a question here from Techno Geek. Do you guys think Amazon should have just skipped the smartphone and keep doing what they are actually, and that is selling products, I assume, actually good at? Well, I mean, they've proven they're good, though, at doing, like, the Kindle Fires and the Kindle Readers. So I think the
very obvious
that
It's very obvious that Amazon wants to control every single aspect of consumer lifestyle, and the phone is the next step on that.
Yep, it was.
They have gotten into everything else. The phone is the next step. It only makes sense. Them not doing a phone would be more worrisome than them producing a piss poor effort of a phone. Not that I'm saying that that's what they did, but just it would be more surprising for them not to than anything else.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think we should give it time too, because this phone might turn out to be amazing with the way they might link up everything in our house, and all of a sudden that's the portal to it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the Fire TV is a good device. The Kindle Fire tablets are great. The Kindle readers are awesome. Yeah, so the phone was going to happen at some point. And I don't think we're really that upset about the hardware. We're just not happy with the price.
The price doesn't match the vision of the company. It doesn't match any expectation that we have for Amazon. It just doesn't match it.
Exactly. Exactly. From David Berkovich, when can I expect a range full of technological buffalo? Actually, we're moving into a new office in October. Keep your eyes peeled for an office tour, and there might be a surprise somewhere in the office. I'll just leave that
real buffalo.
I'll leave that cryptic. Roy and I were discussing something yesterday. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we got to get a stuffed buffalo. Oh, maybe some people wouldn't like that.
A fake one.
Well, no, we're not talking about getting a taxidermied buffalo.
Well, I was, but I know that probably not. Anyway.
I don't even know where to start looking for a taxidermy buffalo. Do you go on eBay?
We would have
Amazon. Use your Amazon phone.
We would have to wild or Bill and Ted our way back to Wild Bill's Adventures.
That's awesome.
Todd wants to stuff a poor buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was already stuff. We're just buying it, so it's worthwhile.
I'm looking
Oh,
it
okay,
up.
so that takes all the guilt off of us.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Amazon taxidermy buffalo.
From Dark Momming 98, PS4 or gaming PC?
Well, they have a fake buffalo head for only $35.
He's just Oh, man. That sounds good to me.
That sounds good.
PS4 or gaming PC? Totally different beasts.
Not so much anymore. I don't think. These are tough questions. Like when people ask me this, and I just there's a lot I don't know about you, Dark Moming 98, and I'm not really ready to make any assumptions about your personality or your gaming habits. With that said, you're going to get some high-quality gaming experiences on the PlayStation 4. It's only going to cost you $399. I personally built a gaming PC for around $700. I built it 3 years ago, and it's still running things on high settings, not ultra high anymore. It's showing its age, but I've been very happy with it. So you just need to consider how much money you have now and think about things like Steam sales, because thanks to Steam sales and the Humble Bundle and Good Old Games and Green Man Gaming and all those sites, it's made gaming on the PC incredibly affordable. So if you're going to binge and go out and buy 50 titles as soon as you buy your computer, then maybe a PC is the way to go and not a PlayStation 4. That said, buying a PlayStation 4 is not a mistake. So there's no right or wrong answer here. Look at the exclusives, consider which ones pick your interest most. If you love the idea of Uncharted and The Last of Us Remastered and all the other Sony licenses that are guaranteed to come out on that machine, go that route. If you like the stuff that's coming out on the PC, which is almost everything these days except for console exclusives, go that route. So, I mean, this is a very personal decision. You do whatever you want to do, buddy.
Yes, before Joey makes a gaming recommendation, he has a questionnaire that he likes you to fill out. It's a personality test, and
Yeah.
How do you feel about the color violet?
Yeah, right.
It all depends how much time your wife lets you play. That's
a big consideration as well.
I haven't played games in a long time, even though
At least, Joey, you can go, I'm working!
Yeah. I don't play games after 5 p.m. I just don't. I stop. So
that's like when I try. Like if I can, I try, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Hey, Joey, I've been meaning to ask you for a while. Has Connor started to express any interest in gaming?
Well, he doesn't know about my sullied habits. I don't really like bringing work home, and I really don't like having my kid around that. Not because I don't want him experiencing video games, but just because I want to keep my work life separate from my family life. But with that said, I have a 3DS on my nightstand because I play before I fall asleep, and
so do I.
He comes in. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. He's like, "Sun's up, I'm up. Let's roll." So he comes in and he picks up my 3DS now and starts playing, which is actually really interesting. He doesn't know how to do much. He's only 3. Like he can move and jump, but he doesn't really understand it. It was actually wild. I have never talked to him about Mario or Luigi. We do not have these conversations. I have never how some parents are like, "This is Mario. This is Luigi." He sits down. He's playing New Super Mario Brothers 2 on my 3DS. And he just looks at me and he's like, "Daddy, I want Luigi." And I'm just like, what?
He'd been on YouTube watching Luigi.
I was just gonna say that. Death Stare.
At daycare, they're just hanging out, checking out Luigi Death Stares. Yeah.
Those are the greatest. And that's the whole reason I'm playing Luigi and Mario Kart. Just because I know.
I have to believe that after that exploded, his player rate skyrocketed.
I did the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. From another question from Techno Geek, What about Amazon's new streaming service? What are your opinions on it? I've played with it a little bit, and I know a lot of people are going, it only has 1 million songs. It has 1 million songs.
Does it have a streaming app? Does it have an app?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I haven't used it, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you're paying for Amazon Prime, it's no extra cost to you. And I'm sorry, I don't know where we got in this world that we went, oh, well, 1 million songs isn't enough.
Well, Sean, to that end, I listen to some strange music, and I imagine that if I went on there and I searched for some of the bands and groups I listen to, I imagine that they would not have a bulk of them, which would frustrate me. So in that world, 1 million is a big deal.
No, that's what bothers me too. When I'm like driving, I'm like, oh, let's play some Bob Seger, and then you search it and there's no Bob Seger. Like,
Bob Seger.
No, I'm just using an example. I think that was the problem I had with Zune music way back in the day.
Yeah. Well, where can I search their music? I don't even know. Like, does it show up
I'm pulling up the app right now.
Does it show up as $0 online? If it's under the
so
Prime?
All right, Joey, give me a group.
Oh jeez. Kavinsky, Kavinsky.
Okay, you won't like Amazon Prime Music.
Does it have Bob Seger?
It pulled up somebody
Bob
named
Seger.
Com Trues.
Com Trues works, yeah. He's more popular, I think so.
Bob Seger. It's searching. Yeah. Well, hold on. It also pulled up the Ultimate Bob Seger cover band.
Bob
that's the problem
Bob
that
Seger
happened
and the
with Zune.
Silver Bullet Band.
Yeah, there you go.
Some karaoke albums.
Yep, that's what happened with Zune. You get like the cover stuff.
Yeah.
So instead of Hollywood Nights, you get like Tuscaloosa Nights.
Tuscaloosa Nights. God. Everyone's like, Bob Seger? Who?
Bob Seger.
Oh, I have
old man taste.
Apparently, don't worry, Todd. I listen to Jimmy Buffett too.
Yes.
I mean,
me too. I love Jimmy Buffett.
if you go back and you look at Amazon's video selection when it launched, it was pretty sad.
Abysmal. Yeah, abysmal.
And it's gotten way, way better. And I'm sure the same thing's going to happen with the music selection.
All right.
But if you're already paying for Amazon Prime,
All right,
why
give
not
it a
download
crack. Why
the
not?
app?
It's a perk. It's not a feature right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Actually, let's jump away from questions for a second. There was a very interesting story from Netflix today about the Chelsea Handler is moving her talk show to Netflix.
Was she on E or something?
Yeah, she was on E
Yeah.
for 7-8 seasons. Look, I'm not a Chelsea Handler fan. I'll be upfront about it.
She had a gentleman that helped her get on E, right? When she was dating.
Yes. I believe you and I know the same story. Anyway, when is Netflix just going to become a network? I mean, they've had great success with their dramas. Now they're adding a talk show, which is a bold move.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I think it's very cool.
They're I think what the Netflix model works so well because of it's reached a saturation point where I don't think that they have such a high subscriber count that they can charge whatever they want for it at this point.
Yeah, and hey, kudos to them. They are raising the price, but those of us that were members prior to the price raise, we get a 2-year grace period.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, that means I wasn't going. My father has such a Netflix addiction. I've considered staging an intervention. That's all he does is watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But, so now I'm wondering. I bet you anything within the next 6-12 months at the outset, we'll hear about Netflix adding original sitcoms.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah. That's about the only thing they're missing right now.
Yeah.
Well, what's
the difference between the Arrested Development 4th season? That was a different project. I'm talking about truly original, brand new sitcoms.
Yeah.
That was my question. And but then what's? I guess it's a drama. Like Orange Is the New Black is a drama.
It's a dramedy.
Dramedy.
Yeah. Same with.
So
Lily
you mean like a How I Met Your Mother kind of show?
Exactly. you're a 3-camera, multi-camera setup, sitcom,
Nice.
laugh beats, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it at some point. I really do it. I think
cool.
at that point, I think even now, with adding a talk show, we have to look at it and go, Netflix is a network.
What if
They should
Netflix
get, like-
brings back Scrubs? God.
Joey, you're going to shoot me.
Don't
They
tell
should
me
get like
they did
Seth
Scrubs.
MacFarlane on there. I don't know. Create a joke too.
I did not like Scrubs.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Sorry, never appealed to me. Of course, I'm also one of those people that think Seinfeld is the most overrated sitcom of all time.
Oh, God.
Oh man, I love.
Afterward, the show's over.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Sure. The millions of people who watched it and loved it probably disagree with your assessment, Sean.
Oh, I know. But at the same time, I think Friends was horrible, so. But I'm a huge Mad About You fan.
I don't think I've ever watched that.
Sean loves Mad About You, hates Seinfeld. That's not weird. It's not weird at all. I just happen to love Paul Reiser.
I'm more of a classic sitcom, like All in the Family, was absolutely amazing, but yeah, sorry.
Can't even answer some more questions. I can't.
I was
even
watching Cheers recently. What a cool show that was. I like
Cheers was great. Norm.
Cheers does not hold up though over time.
No?
I don't think so. I've gone back and watched some episodes. I don't find it anywhere as funny as I used to. Of course, that could be me.
Probably. You don't like Scrubs.
Yeah. Whatever. I tell you, some people. Anyway, on to some more questions here. We're running a little late, but we've got a ton of questions, and I just went off on a tangent. So, Watch Dogs, a GTA killer? No.
Next.
Next.
Sorry, if you read Joey and Eric's review, I think that was pretty well nailed.
I mean, have you guys played it?
After I read your review, I was like, no, I'm not gonna bother.
Not gonna bother. Yeah, I mean, you told me not to bother with it either, so I didn't.
Really? Well, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, go buy it, form your own opinions, and then back me up if you want.
No, the whole hacking thing didn't really appeal to me anyway.
The hacking is cool. The hacking is the
Oh, it
interesting
is?
part. Yeah, it's the interesting part.
Well, then
I have a review you might want to read. It's on this website, TechnoBuffalo.com. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know.
I know, but I thought you said that that's the part that got like, I don't know, repetitive.
No, the hacking is interesting. The hacking is cool. It's the everything else really that's not cool.
I'm sorry, I can't support TechnoBuffalo. They have this interest in putting a taxidermied buffalo in their office, and I just can't support that.
That's just a weirdo in the mobile department.
From David Berkovich, will co-op be big again, or just a feature in some games like Far Cry 4 and Assassin's Creed Unity? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really think it's gone away so much as I think that these bigger franchises are actually finally putting it in place. Far Cry 3 had a co-op mode. It's not as interesting as what they're doing on the PlayStation 4, where you can let someone play without owning a copy. That's really crazy.
That's so cool.
That is like the most brilliant marketing move ever.
Yeah, I don't know what that means long term for the movement. I think if anything, couch-based co-op is on the rise more than anything else. But I'm excited to see co-op and stuff like Assassin's Creed. I think it could be really awesome. Scrubs is the best. As Scrubs is also the breast. Show me your Scrubs breast.
There you go.
Well, see, though, the problem with couch co-op, Joey, is you have to have friends.
Just put on the sheet, bud. Let those prisoners out behind you, and they'll probably gladly play some games with you.
Play games with me!
I'm sure Munchausen.
Play games with me.
No, Stockholm Syndrome is probably kicked in by now. They'd probably love to couch co-op with you.
Please, we haven't seen.
I don't have
this
anybody
in so
to
long.
couch co-op with either.
So, do you remember that Witcher 3 trophy that they gave out at E3? I was showing you the link yesterday.
Yes, and I saw your tweets.
Ugh. So there's CD Projekt Red when we came. They're like the nicest publisher developer ever. We walk into their press demo and sitting in our chairs. This is this awesome little tote bag, and it's got a statue in it for The Witcher, and it's got a card for the game, like a code to like have the game on PC, and like a comic and like some other stuff. And it's pretty sweet. Like, I got home and I gave it all away to my friends because I don't need it. Like, I don't need all this stuff. My wife would be like, "What the hell is that statue doing in here?" But like, other games journalists hopped on eBay and they like listed it, and they're selling it for like $150, $200. This is mind-boggling to me that people would do this.
Yeah, it's weird. I've seen that happen with like when we go to events. Sometimes they'll give you like a tablet or something like that you can take. Like, it's not a review unit, like a gift.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sell it. I give it to like my wife's coworkers and stuff who need a tablet.
I mean, I gave it to my buddy Mike. He's like kind of gaming on a budget. I know he wants to play Witcher. Like, here you go, Mike. Like, you know, I'm probably going to get a free copy of the game anyway come release. So what difference does it make?
When I used to go to Toy Fair, Mattel would give out Toy Fair exclusive Hot Wheels, and that was the only place you could get these Hot Wheels in that paint
That's
shop.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they have a huge value on them, but I've never sold them off because those to me are a nice token of my time in that industry.
It's a keepsake. It's the statue. We've actually made it our trophy for family game night, and so like whoever comes over and wins whatever we happen to be playing gets to keep the trophy until the next week. So
nice.
It's ridiculous.
Family game
I could have
night.
sold it for $300 and made $300 the trophy for family game night, I guess, but
here's $300. You have to bring it back next week.
Right, man. Ugh.
I'm sure that would always work out swimmingly.
God, I just don't get it. I don't get that logic. Like, man, I can't believe CD Projekt Red gave me this really great gift. It was so nice of them. I could give it away to my readers.
Wait to sell it.
Yeah.
I will say this, okay, and I'm not trying to defend them, but I could see if, let's say, it's somebody from a brand new site that they barely had the budget to go to E3. I know it's
trying to make up their.
Yeah, I mean it's still a stretch. No, Joey,
you are turning profit from a gift. You are turning profit from a gift. You are turning it into, instead of CD Projekt Red handing you and the statue. I mean, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but it is not a metal die-cast statue. It's plastic. So it's not even like that amazing of a statue. This was just a nice gesture on the part of the studio. They did not have to do this, but they're handing this to you, and if you sell it, you're basically saying, "Screw your gift. I want money."
No, it's not something I would do. I agree with you. I could see one or two little gray areas, but still, I would have a problem with it.
I don't know. I was working for another site. They invited us out to see Duke Nukem Forever, I think, in Vegas, and they handed us money to gamble. And I was just like,
"Whoa, that's weird."
Yes. And a lot of people were just like, "No."
Yeah, that's...
Here you go back. No thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that.
I think it was Duke Nukem. I might be wrong.
Of course, as bad as Duke Nukem Forever was...
Yeah, I can see what they're trying to get at.
The real gamble was releasing Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. Talk about a game that should have stayed vaporware. Yeah. Well, let's take one more question. Well, this will be our longest episode ever, so you've all got a little extra and a whole bunch of tangents.
Mm-hmm.
So let me flip through here and let's find a good one for you guys. Here, from Jamani B. Is the Amazon phone considered a flagship?
It's an interesting question. It's a flagship for Amazon.
Yeah.
Certainly, and it's a, what is it called when AT&T makes it their, like... It's not a flagship, but it is AT&T's like go-to device that they're promoting right now.
Banner device.
Yeah, like a banner device, exactly. At least that's what I heard. So, but the thing is, it could be considered a flagship in the sense that it does have some pretty good hardware in it. It's just that it's not the flagship in the way enthusiasts are looking at phones, and I think one of the ways that it's not is because the software is pretty limited, down to like 200 and what did Amazon say this week? 235,000 apps, I think, are available for it. So I know you can sideload apps in Android and you can tinker with it and get whatever you want on there, but for Joe Consumer, that's 800,000 apps fewer than iOS and Android. In a lot of cases, that's still, I mean, even though it's their flagship, it's not, in my opinion, considered like this, like super competitive device.
I think give it time. I think that it's interesting. I wonder if they'll run into similar problems that Microsoft is seeing with the Windows Phone now, where the marketplace just isn't diverse enough. Their app marketplace.
Yeah, I think that is sort of the problem, and we know that Microsoft has flagship devices too, and so essentially this is Amazon's flagship phone, but it's also Amazon's only phone. So yeah,
right.
Well, I mean, it's certainly no BlackBerry Passport, but
yeah, that thing was crazy.
That thing.
If you
weird.
haven't
I
seen
wrote that up today. I wrote that up today, and I credited one of the guys who posted a picture on Twitter, and some other BlackBerry fans or maybe developers were like, "Good to see TechnoBuffalo covering BlackBerry." Guys, we cover BlackBerry all the time.
Yeah. I don't really know what that means.
You're going on,
but only when there's news.
You're going on CNBC this afternoon to discuss BlackBerry, Todd.
Yes. It's funny. I mean, if you click the BlackBerry tag, I mean, all the time.
Yeah, there's
covered
a lot of
June
BlackBerry.
18th, June 16th, June 11th.
Yeah, we do cover BlackBerry. So that
news.
brings episode 14 to an end. Thank you all for joining us. We will be back here next week on Thursday again because Google I/O is happening on Wednesday.
Thanks a lot, Google.
Yeah, Google.
Yeah.
You know, they called me. I was like, okay, fine. You can have your little shindig on Wednesday.
Steam sale, 4
Fine.
minutes. Steam sale, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Steam sale.
Not that Joey's counting down or anything. So, as always, you can find us on the iTunes Store where you can rate and review us, and we do appreciate that because it does help out the show. You can also find us on Pocket Cast. You can find us on the Stitcher app. You can find us pretty much anywhere, anytime, because we know you want to hear us all the time. I've been Sean Ani. I'm the editor-in-chief of TechnoBuffalo. I've been joined by executive gaming editor Joey Davidson.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Steam sale.
And executive editor of Mobile, Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody. 3 minutes.
3 minutes Steam sale.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back here next week. Till then, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.